The Innovators Network.
Welcome to the Killer Innovation Show, the longest continuously produced podcast in history. Each week, Phil McKinney brings you the insights and strategies to amplify your creativity and innovation skills. Here's your host, Phil McKinney. This episode is sponsored by Zoom. With Zoom, you can streamline your communication, collaboration, and creativity all in one place. Zoom is the market-leading platform that provides video meetings, voice, webinars, and chat across desktops, phones, tablets, and conference room systems. To learn more about Zoom and sign up for your free account, visit killerinnovations.com/Zoom.
Hey, welcome back to the next episode of the show. We are back on the bus, coming off of a 2-week vacation with family, my grandkids. Did a cruise out of Seattle here and going up to Alaska. Phenomenal. One of the side benefits of this vacation, other than just the craziness of taking 16 people onto a cruise, was the fact that I disconnected from everything. Didn't take advantage of any broadband made available on the cruise. I did check basic emails on basically 3G or LTE when you're in some of these more rural towns around Alaska, but for all intents and purposes, offline. So the benefit from that, and I mentioned this in one social media post because I did post a few pictures from the cruise over on the social media accounts, Instagram and Facebook pages primarily, was how much I was enjoying this digital detox. And I want to talk more about this. In the innovation and creativity space, your ability to disconnect at times is absolutely crucial. It is critical to disconnect. Now, in this case, one of the policies I put in place where I'm the CEO at Cable Labs is that if you are on PTO, you're on holiday, you're on vacation, paid time off, you are truly disconnected. In that case, if you're a leader, a manager, director, VP, SVP, whatever, one of your tasks before you leave is to appoint a proxy. That person sits in the seat. They have all of your responsibilities and they have all of your authority, your signature authority, etc. And the rule is any decision made by your proxy while you are gone, you cannot counteract when you come back. This is a great exercise for training next leaders, but also it tries to avoid the problem of just piles of stuff for you to come back and deal with when you're coming off of holiday. Now, in my case, this most recent trip, I put our CTO in as my proxy, and he had full authority. He has full authority to sign contracts, sign agreements, make any personnel decisions, etc. Now, to be quite honest, I'm not officially back until Monday, 2 days from now. So I don't have any insight into what decisions he's made, what happened while I was gone. Totally disconnected. Now, in this case, you do have to have trust in who you're putting into your proxy, but it's also about preparing them, letting them know, on-ramping them so they're ready to take on your scope, your responsibility while you are away. But the key here is it allows you to totally disconnect. You're not mentally thinking about it. You're not sneaking little looks at your email or your Slack or messaging, whatever. You're not doing it. You need to be able to just fully disconnect in order to really let your mind, your subconscious, just rest. Get that break, and just for you to have an opportunity to think. Now, I've taken vacations in the past, but I've also got I'm online and I can access Feedly, which is one of my primary sources for information, news, interesting research going on, ideas, problems, innovations, those types of things. In this trip, I didn't have access to Feedly because I was offline. Now, I have tried other applications like Freedom and others that you can set a timer and disconnect you from your browser, from your internet, etc. You can start it and it shuts down. In my case, it will shut down my laptop, my phone, all of my iPads. I have no digital access for the amount of time that I allocate and tell Freedom to disconnect. Now, I will tell you, this is just me being purely honest, I am not as disciplined on that as I should be. I should be much more disciplined. However, one piece of advice that I would give you if you truly want to go through a digital detox, totally disconnect, is take advantage of going to locations, going to places where you do not have internet access. If you don't have the discipline and you're just too tempted, and the dopamine rush of doom scrolling, through reels and YouTube videos, etc., is just too attractive, go places where you don't have broadband access. Back when I was part of the industry building the original mobile networks here in the United States, I had in my office a map of the entire US, and it laid out the launching of all of the original mobile networks. And my wife would come into my office, look at the map, and she would pick a vacation location based on it having no mobile phone access, no connectivity. And that's how she picked our vacation locations, was to get me to disconnect. At the time, it was a little frustrating, it was a little funny, etc. In those times, my vacations were typically pretty short, maybe 4 or 5 days wrapped with a weekend in the middle of that, just because I always felt this pressure that I couldn't take time off and that I had to be in the office. And if I wasn't in the office, I'm going to get overlooked for promotion, all the things that drive the workaholic. And I am naturally a workaholic. My father was an extreme workaholic. Unfortunately, some of my kids have picked up my habits of being a workaholic. But as I've aged, as I've taken a step back to really look at productivity, improvement in innovation and creativity output, taking these breaks is absolutely critical. And in fact, when I'm the CEO, as I said, you go on PTO, you disconnect. And in fact, if I hear or catch you accessing Slack, jumping onto a Zoom call, checking your email while you're on PTO, then I will have IT disconnect your account until your first day back. I will force you offline. The organization, we as a company, we get more value from our staff taking true PTO and having them come back refreshed, more creative, better ideas than we ever get if they are constantly, sneaking in a couple days here and a couple days there, etc. The other policy we put in place where I'm at may or may not work. And if you're interested, reach out to me and I can explain to you how this works, is unlimited vacation. A lot of companies claim to have unlimited vacation, but they really don't have unlimited vacation. And we wrap it in with our PTO time, our time off, sick, taking care of kids. Plus we have a hybrid work environment. You can be in the office all the time. You can be remote. You can be things in between. You can be part-time remote, part-time in the office, to give our staff the most flexibility so that they can balance, which also takes the stress off, frees them up, and get used to the fact that they don't have to be seen to be counted. And so that was one of those objectives. But again, the ability for someone to maybe take a 3-week trip with their family and be offline and be disconnected, or take a month off to go take a once every 5-year reunion or something. You don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, am I going to get permission? Do I have to ask? Those kinds of things. We do coordinate, we do align and make sure projects and programs don't slow down, don't get impacted. But I am the firm believer that time off pays back in spades. So what I would encourage you is find that balance, take the time, and when you take the time, disconnect, because the digital detox, that amount of time it takes for you to unload all of the normal habits of constantly checking your email and watching YouTube videos and Snapchat or whatever it is that feeds you, being forced to disconnect and not do that, it's about a 2-week process to truly go through that digital detox. So I would encourage you at least once a year to go through a digital detox, and then look at rebalancing how much screen time you have. Use those apps, shut it down so that you can focus on writing, creating, inventing, doing your artwork, doing whatever it is. Do that. Find that time. So as we wrap up here, I'm going to close out this episode. I'm just going to try to keep this relatively short. I always say that, but we're already at 10 minutes. So I don't know what it is about 10 minutes. They all tend to be 10 minutes. But hopefully you're taking some time off this summer. Take your breaks. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to enjoy a nice afternoon in the sunset here in the Olympic Peninsula in Washington, overlooking Canada. And just be thankful and be appreciative of my days and what I have here and what I've been blessed with. Hopefully you do the same. Take that time, refresh your subconscious, feed your creativity. Your output, your impact will benefit from that. So with that, don't forget, if you got a question, comment, you want me to cover something or something's not clear, post it in the comments below. And subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future episodes. And with that, and remember, we're on about every other week here or so through the summer, depending on timing and availability. But keep working on your ideas. Take that time off. Write them, get your idea notebooks out. Keep generating those ideas. Come up with that one idea that is going to be transformative and go out there and change the world. Bye-bye.
Podcasting nonstop since 2005, this has been the Killer Innovation Show on the Innovators Network.
This show is distributed by the Innovators Network. For more information and other great shows and content, visit theinnovators.network.